Thank the gentleman. Mr. Forbes.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I do not have a better friend in this Congress than the gentleman sitting to my left, Mr. Miller. In fact, truth be known, I don't have a better friend in all the world. And so if we were voting on friendship, I would say let's vote to support this particular amendment. But the reality of this, Mr. Nye is absolutely right, and this is a billion-dollar decision, and it's a decision that's made in a context where we don't have enough planes. We don't have enough money for our depots. We don't have enough ship maintenance. We don't have enough ships. Day after day, many members in this committee, especially on my side, walk over to the floor and we vote against suspension bills that cost $5 million, $6 million, $10 million. And our argument is that we have to make sure our priorities are straight. We have to make sure that we know all the money that we are going to be expending. And yet we're willing to spend $1 billion without making sure we know all the cost. Understand that this is about anything but national security. And the reason it's not about national security is when we did the last BRAC, the strategic laydown, the Navy, this wasn't a blip on their screen. When they did the last QDR, it wasn't a blip on the screen. It didn't originate from this committee, where national defense items do. This originated from a resolution passed by the Chamber of Commerce in Jacksonville that was then supported by another good friend of mine, Andrew Crenshaw, in the appropriations bill to begin this study. And all this amendment does is simply say this: shouldn't we get all of the cost before we make a billion-dollar decision of this kind of magnitude? Mr. Chairman, I'll just close by saying this. There is nobody in this room, there is nobody at the Pentagon that can tell you the personnel cost that's going to be associated with this. When we've asked them, they have said, first of all, we're going to take 700 people from Norfolk, send them to Florida to do the work on a 7-month availability. We're not going to send them home for weekends. We're going to pay them per diem. They haven't looked at the morale problems of doing that, the cost of doing that. And then they've said this: well, maybe we'll bring the carriers back to Norfolk to do the work. Well, if they bring the carriers back to Norfolk to do the work, what's the strategic reason for moving them in the first place? And secondly, we're then relocating 3,000 families during that 7-month period of time. So, Mr. Chairman, I think the approach from the Readiness Subcommittee is a reasonable one. It simply says, let's get all the cost before we spend $1 billion to make this decision. And, Mr. Chairman, in that spirit of friendship, I'm going to yield the balance of my time to my good friend from Florida, Mr. Miller.